3 words to describe Jim: intelligent, knowledgeable, take charge guy.
They made things comfortable, generous, certainly, thoughtful.
Family, devoted, stalwart, always there when somebody needed them.
Sue has a marvelous sense of humor. She was a great cook, and Jim had one speed, 5th gear, and always on the run.
3 words I would say are compassionate, generous, and always looking out for the less fortunate.
Sue is just a gracious lady. I can just say that one word: gracious.
For my mom, kind but tough. For my dad, very disciplined, smart, and inquisitive.
Jim Mintun is a leader, but behind that leadership is somebody who is extremely wonderful and engaged and supportive, and that's Sue.
They moved to northern Chautauqua County from Pittsburgh when they were in their early 30s. They didn't really know anybody. My dad probably knew some people from work, but that became home for them. And, it is a place that they care very deeply about. And, I think it's been just very inspiring to see how they, started from scratch in a community and became, community leaders and, did so much and cared a lot about giving back.
They were great neighbors, great friends. They do so many things together. They've always been active in the community.
It just was a good working relationship and a good friendship, because Jim was the kind of person that if he was your friend, there was nothing he wouldn't do for you. He was that kind of a guy.
I think Sue is an absolutely delightful person. I just always admired her because she was always so upbeat and positive.
From our business and professional relationship, it led into a personal relationship where I can now say that Jim and Sue are my dear friends. They've done so much for me and my family, and I hold them in such high esteem for what they've given back to the community.
They're just such good people, and we need more like them.
Jim had the ability to motivate employees during very difficult economic times in the 80s and going into the 90s, especially in the steel industry.
Well, I think he kept the steel plant open for a long time. That was his major contribution. Kept people employed, kept the city in tax dollars.
He took a roll of the dice and went after Sunbeam, which happened to be in bankruptcy, got an environmental remediation fund, which in fact remediated the site, which then created thousands of jobs over time to assist in the area, the Dunkirk area.
He understood the importance that those jobs really meant to the vibrancy of the community. And so, and my mother's support, because he was able to, help foster that commitment during his career, in part because my mom was always there to take care of everything else.
And he and Sue were dedicated to keeping these jobs so they could, enjoy a quality of life that Western New York offers.
Every village had a chamber of commerce, and every village had their list of what we should do, what we should push for. And Jim had the foresight of seeing a united county. The North County and the South County were divided, and Jim got the two, North and South, to pull together and pulled off a joining of the chambers into the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce. And then the county had a big voice with all of the communities acting as one. And I give them all the credit for that.
I know through his job, through his work with Altec, he brought lots of contributions, things that are very often overlooked. There were two significant things that really happened during his chairmanship. And one was a controversial and difficult transition to term limits. And it was significant because it really reinvigorated the board. He also always encouraged collaboration with the Community Foundation. And it was very, very helpful because it clearly defined our individual missions.
I think 66 years coming up in June of a happy and productive marriage. It starts with that partnership, and then the institutions that they've touched in the community, whether it's the Barker Library, the First Presbyterian Church, the foundation itself. The list goes on and on.
Giving back to the community, what Northern Chautauqua Foundation, what their mission statement is, they believe in it. I mean, Jim, I believe, was one of the founding fathers going back almost 50 years of forming Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. I think it was there, knowing that, what they can give can be spread to so many through the efforts and good work of the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation.
I think a lot of their philanthropy has been done very quietly and from the heart.
They were visible in the community in generous ways. Jim actually encouraged his mother to establish a charitable gift annuity. So, not only did they give, but they brought their family into it. Their legacy. It is through their involvement, their support, their generosity.
The effect of what they have done will last for years.
I think just as a couple, they exude confidence, they exude a vision of support for the community. They have in many instances been part of the community, as noted by the fund they created through the Community Foundation. Not everybody thinks that far out, and kudos to Jim and Sue for making that reality. And I think everybody in Chautauqua County is delighted to be able to lay claim to them.
Their footprints led the way, and they won't be there forever, but the trail that they've created will be there forever because they've created that legacy by example.
What he's given back to the entire community, Jim and Sue, is just amazing. And it is a better place, Chautauqua County, and I believe we are better people for having them in our lives.
I just want to say, to my parents, thank you for everything you've done for us and for our community, and that, all of your family love you very much and are, respect so much what you've done, and, you're really worthy recipients of this award.
When you get older, memories are important. And as Bob Hope always said, thanks for the memories. So Jim and Sue, thanks for the memories.